great power comes great responsibility.
Welcome back, ScreenCrush. I'm Ryan Airy. Spoilers for Spider-Man No Way Home are ahead. When I walked out of Spider-Man No Way Home, I was excited about the future of Spider-Man, and I was thrilled by watching the three Spider-Men interact with all those classic villains. I thought it was a really fun movie, but at first, I was disappointed that it didn't seem to have a deeper theme like the other home movies. For instance, Spider-Man Homecoming is about people trying to rise above their station. Adrian tries rising above a blue-collar life. Peter tries to be an avenger, and he hits literal ceilings all throughout the movie before triumphing by literally lifting his way out of a ceiling, just as Adrian is always hitting a kind of economic ceiling. But in the end, Peter does come to accept that he needs to wait to grow up.
I mean, I'd rather just stay on the ground for a little while.
And Far From Home is about the power of belief. Belief is Mysterio's primary weapon against Peter Parker. But the movie is also about Peter learning to believe in himself.
Your friends are in trouble, you're all alone, your tech is missing. What are you going to do about it?
But in No Way Home, I was so taken in by the big climactic fight and the fun of seeing Tobey and Andrew and everyone else that the main theme escaped me until it hit me. Spider-Man No Way Home has a defining theme. In fact, it's also the defining theme of every Spider-Man movie or comic book, cartoon. This movie is about what Spider-Man is at his core. Spider-Man is a failure. Matt Singer, who literally wrote the book on Spider-Man, recently wrote, "We like Spider-Man because he's a screw-up. Peter Parker fails repeatedly." And Matt, you're right on the money, as always. I mean, think about other heroes. Superman's defined by being, well, he's super. He's above everyone else. He always saves the day. His appeal is that he wakes up every morning and chooses to save the day when he doesn't have to. Batman is calm, cool, collected. He's always in control. Tony Stark has made his fair share of screw-ups, but he's mostly a calm, charming presence. And Captain America is so above failure that he's worthy to wield Mjolnir. Now, all of these heroes have made mistakes, big ones, but none of them are defined by their mistakes. But Peter Parker is defined by his failures. In the comics, he failed to stop the crook who killed Uncle Ben. He didn't save George Stacy, Norman Osborn, Gwen Stacy, Harry Osborn, the list goes on. He tried to create a prison to rehab criminals, but it failed. He couldn't save Michael Morbius. He let the symbiote escape and it created Venom. He revealed his secret identity to the world and almost got his Aunt May killed, and that cost him his marriage. Then, in the Sam Raimi films, there's Uncle Ben's death. He almost flunks out of college, lets his aunt go broke, doesn't save Rosie Octavius' life, which leads to the creation of Dr. Octopus, lets Harry dies, loses Mary Jane, succumbs to the black suit, lets a guy get beat up in an alley, and does this. Then, in the Amazing films, Uncle Ben, George Stacy, doesn't save Gwen, can't reason with Max after he gets powers, or convince Harry not to use Spider-Man's blood, and he solves Kurt Connor's equation and creates the Lizard.
Hey, you got new glasses.
Oh, these? You like them?
Oh yeah, you actually look smart for once.
Aw, thanks. Well, actually I'm just trying them out. They're from Warby Parker, the sponsor of this video.
Is that like Peter Parker?
No, it's this company that offers stylish, affordable eyewear online. They have glasses, sunglasses, contact lenses, and even offer a virtual eye exam.
Whoa!
The glasses start at just $95, including prescription lenses. I got these through their at-home try-on program. Now, the way this works is you take an easy quiz and pick the frames you like. And then you order 5 pairs of glasses to try on at home for free with no obligation to buy. They even come with a prepaid return label. Now, I like these frames a lot. Unlike my current glasses, they don't slide off my face every time I move my head around. And this also lets me try out frames that I wouldn't normally use. For instance, these that are more brightly colored. Let me know if you like these or the other ones better down in the comments. I also really like these sunglasses, which start at $95 and are available with a prescription. They are scratch resistant and provide 100% UV protection. And best of all, you can renew your prescription online. Their virtual vision test costs just $15, and you can do it right at home or on your iPhone. Just download the Warby Parker Virtual Vision Test app to see if you're eligible. So if you're interested, just click the link in the description to get started with your own at-home tryout. So, back to Spider-Man. The home trilogy gave us a Spider-Man who is the biggest screw-up of all time. He destroys a deli, keeps a guy from stealing his own car, wrecks the Staten Island ferry. He charges ahead without checking with Tony first, avoids responsibilities on his school trip, orders a drone strike on his field trip, gave Beck the glasses, ruined Liz's life, ruined his friend's chances of going to MIT, nearly destroyed the Washington Monument, and let down his quiz team.
Wait, you are so lucky we won.
But these failures are what makes Spider-Man human and relatable. He is the everyman. He can't pay his bills. He struggles to stay in school. He can't hold a job. His love life, always in the crapper. And he made a deal with Satan that cost him his marriage. You know, normal everyday stuff. But No Way Home isn't just about Peter's failures. Every character in this movie is defined by their failures. I think that's partly why these villains were chosen, instead of, say, the Russian guy in a rhino machine. But let's look at these villains. Otto Octavius failed to save his wife. He screwed up his experiment, and then doubled down and almost destroyed New York. He's a screw-up. Norman Osborn was a failed business leader.
You're out, Norman.
A bad father.
What, you want me to trade in my car for a Jetta just because you flunked out of every private school I ever sent you to?
And was defeated by Spider-Man.
Oh.
A screw-up. The Lizard obviously failed to turn everyone in the world into a lizard, but also Kurt Connors failed in his research and was fired from Oscorp.
Have your office cleared out by the morning.
And Max. Poor Max. He was the sad, brilliant guy with no friends who failed to make any kind of human connection. He just wanted to be seen.
You see me? You see me?
But at the end of the movie, he disappears and can't be seen by anyone. Flint Marko just wanted to be with his daughter and get the money to save her life. Instead, he accidentally shot an old man, and it's not even clear if his daughter lived or died.
I just want my kids back.
Andrew says that after Gwen died, he tried to keep being a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, but he got darker and stopped pulling his punches, so he failed her memory. Tobey Spider-Man says that it's complicated with him and Mary Jane, but they're making it work, so his relationship isn't even solid. Yet another failure. Doctor Strange has failed to become the Sorcerer Supreme. Aunt May has failed to protect Peter's personal life from being Spider-Man. Even Happy Hogan failed. He loved May and their relationship fell apart. But this movie doesn't just show failure, it offers every character a chance to fix their mistakes. Andrew saved MJ in a scene that exactly mirrored Gwen's fall in Amazing Spider-Man 2. Ned continuously fails at magic, but then finally masters the sling ring. After Otto's inhibitor chip is rebuilt, he helps the heroes. Norman takes control of his goblin personality temporarily. Now there's a scene in the movie where Tobey Spider-Man says that he thinks he can cure Norman Osborn because he's been thinking about it for a long time. The loss of Norman and Harry has haunted him for decades. He's looking for a way to redeem himself. In fact, when Otto Octavius asks how Peter's doing, he replies,
Trying to do better.
and that is the quality that most defines Spider-Man. He does fail, all the time, but he always tries to be better today than he was yesterday. He always gets back up and fights.
And your friends are in trouble. You're all alone. Your tech is missing. What are you going to do about it?
After Electro is cured, Andrew Spider-Man tells him what he should have told him to begin with, that Max was always seen, and he is important. When Tom Holland wrecks the power pylons, he webs them up. Again, he makes a mistake, and he tries to make it right. And in a meta way, you could say that this actual movie is Sony Pictures' way of trying to make right on their own mistakes. Sam Raimi never wanted Venom in Spider-Man 3. The studio pushed him to include him, making the film overstuffed. And the same thing happened in Amazing Spider-Man 2. There was too much setup for the larger franchise, and not enough focus on that one film story. So, plans for Raimi's Spider-Man 4 were scrapped, and so were Amazing Spider-Man 3 and 4 and the Sinister Six spinoff. But this movie's greatest failures belong to Tom Holland's Peter Parker. He causes the spell to go wrong that brings all the villains and threatens the multiverse. And his greatest failure is, of course, not being able to protect Aunt May. This key event, when he fails to use his powers to protect the mentor figure he's closest to. I mean, this moment defines every Spider-Man. Spider-Man isn't just defined by failure, he's defined by loss. Losing someone he loves makes his power feel more real. It's how he knows that being powerful is not a game. In the 90s cartoon series, Peter meets a variant of himself from another reality. This variant is rich, cocky, total jerk.
I never shy away from a fight. Maybe because I never lose.
And guess what? In this universe, Peter never lost Uncle Ben, so he was never humbled. He never learned his greatest lesson.
With great power comes great responsibility.
So in the Spider-Man origin story, those words don't resonate with Peter until after he experiences the consequences of ignoring those words. He has to know what it feels like to lose, so he'll make sure that no one else will ever feel that kind of loss again. But again, this is only possible because he originally failed to protect his uncle. A couple years ago, Matt Singer wrote that the New Home trilogy didn't skip Spider-Man's origin. We were watching Spider-Man's origin play out over a few movies. And once again, totally on the money. And not just because Aunt May died in this film and teaches Peter this great line.
With great power comes great responsibility.
All through these movies, think about how Peter has used his great power irresponsibly. In Homecoming, he turns off his suit's training wheels.
Training wheels protocol. Turn it off.
I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, they're probably blocked for a reason.
Come on, man, I don't need training wheels.
He plans on showing up as Spider-Man to a party to impress his classmates. He also uses the Stark suit, a very powerful weapon, to destroy the Staten Island ferry. In Far From Home, he's anointed as Tony Stark's heir and then uses the Edith glasses to spy on Brad.
Brad Davis, is he a target?
Is Brad a target? Yeah, he's a target. He's a target.
And then, in No Way Home, he doesn't even think to plead his case with the admissions people at MIT or to use his fame to leverage public opinion. Instead, he seeks out the most powerful person he knows, Doctor Strange, so he can use one of the most powerful artifacts in the universe to help him get into college. There is no better example of using great power irresponsibly. The title of the movie, Spider-Man No Way Home, isn't just about the villains. It's about Peter himself. At the end of the movie, he loses his friends, his family, his home, because he is taking responsibility for his failures. Peter Parker is not great in spite of his failures. He's great because of them. Failure is how we learn and grow. You should never steal someone's mistakes from them. Or like Master Yoda says,
the greatest teacher failure is.
Or, as Tobey Spider-Man puts it,
Trying to do better.
So earlier, I misspoke. Peter is not defined by his failure. He's defined by trying to overcome them. This version of Spider-Man is always apologizing.
Sorry, I'm really sorry. Oh, sorry, no time to play. Here, go fetch. I'm sorry I made you worry. Listen, I'm so sorry.
You say that a lot. What are you sorry for this time?
And after the final battle in Far From Home, he gives MJ a broken necklace and apologizes.
Oh, MJ, I'm so sorry. I had this stupid plan.
But she says,
I actually like it better broken.
because, like the audience, she is able to love him for who he is, for his successes and his failures. That's the point of Spider-Man No Way Home.